Let's get ready to rumble.
Yes, we're back. Here we go. Episode 104 of the Hibs Ramble. We would have thought we would have made it this far, eh? But here we are. Now, for those that are watching on YouTube, you will see that we have the pleasure of quite a few of us this evening. I'll get on to the smaller people in a minute. But first of all, Ramble favourite, Leaf 7 connoisseur, Tony Anderson. How you doing? You all right?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Thanks, mate. Mark, how you doing? You all good?
Yeah, I'm not bad. I think it's episode 104, so I think this marks my 24th appearance, if that makes it out.
Absolutely no context from my end. I don't know if Craig wants to do this, but me and Craig spent that much time together at the weekend that his body is still hurting. So, Craig, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm not great, if I'm being honest, mate. Still toiling.
What, have you taken up the role as his PT or something?
I had the pleasure of having a guest pass to David Lloyd's gym, and to be fair, didn't really care about Craig. I just smashed a session out and Craig copied me, so I made the most of it.
Do you go to the one at Christorfen, Shaun?
No, I normally go to Pure Gym, but Craig goes to that. It's that one you go to, isn't it? So yeah.
I'll go to that one as well, Craig. I'll maybe see you there. Maybe get a wee game of badminton.
By the old tries are still feeling it. I can't go any further than that.
I was waiting on one of you picking up on the fact that I said I'll get onto the smaller people after I introduced Tony, but he's only really that small, Mark and Craig, eh? So I was waiting on one of you saying that comment.
No, and by the way, that top's deceptive because neither are you with some of the weights you were lifting. Jeez, oh.
Right, we'll get right into it, but I'm going to change. I changed the running order up last week. For those that listen, I'm doing the same this week. Now, Tony, I went out to all the guys this afternoon and asked for a random Hibs player, okay, as a surprise blind ranking for you. So there was no context to it. They all gave me a player in the end. So I've got 5 players here in front of me, and I want you to blind rank them based on their time at Hibs, and only their time at Hibs. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Just to get you loose and ready for what could potentially be a good or a shit episode, right? Number 1, the first one that came in was Alan Orman.
Hard to forget Alan Orman because obviously he scored the raker at Ibrox, but he also swallowed his tongue. So, what a career! So what, Dad? Just give him a grade. What?
So how blind ranking works, sorry, I probably should have explained, is there's 5 players, you don't know who's going to come next, and you need to rank them from 1 to 5. So hypothetically, if you put Alan Orman 1, then you can't change him. You can't use number 1 again. So whatever this 5 will be, he will be number 1 on your list, pretty much.
Right.
Or you could put him 5, and then someone even worse could come up, and then
but I think with a guy like Orman with that type of career, I'll go 3.
Okay. The second
Safe.
Yeah, very safe. Like
the second player that came in was Frank the JJ.
The JJ, yeah. So what was he? He set up a goal in a derby, did he not? Was it not that done it for Farid Alagay?
Yes,
where he hooked it over the top?
Yep.
That was him. But he was generally quite crap, wasn't he? He was injured a lot, wasn't he? I'll definitely say he had a worse career than Alan Orman, so we'll go for 4.
Okay. Based on how you ranked these two, I think I know how the next one's going to go. The third player that got sent to me was Ryan McGivern.
Fuck me. Aye, 5. Depends what spell. He fooled us all in the first spell where we thought we were getting a player back, and then he was like sort of the chief operator of the relegation by the end of it.
So where's he going?
5, yeah.
5, I thought. Aye. Cool. So you've got 1 and 2 left. The fourth player that got sent to me prior to the one that I entered for you was Clayton Donaldson.
Oh, he scored a hat-trick against Motherwell. He had big Henri vibes at time. Clayton Donaldson coming off the left-hand side and slotting. So yeah, I'll give him a 2. Why not?
So, Liam Craig is your number one.
Oh, well, he's here now. Looks like he's helping out great. So, fair play. He scored on the derby. So he ended up captaining us, did he know?
Aye, he was captain for a good time, aye.
And he scored.
Liam Craig escorted me out of Easter Road on Sunday, by the way. Just an FYI.
In what way? A friendly way, or?
It was fairly friendly, but I ended up getting lost in Easter Road and finding myself in the manager's lounge.
Lost.
No, because I was in the Albion bar, which is like, and I ended up getting lost anyway. Barged in, and there's David Gray and Liam Craig and all that, and then went, "Oh, sorry lads, I'm just looking for somewhere to go for a fag."
When you come, son.
Liam Craig came out and basically escorted me to the exit of Easter Road.
Probably not the first or the last time you've been escorted at Easter Road, Mark.
Yeah. No, but
if anyone was doing the escorting, it should have been you, in my opinion. But there we go.
Yeah, I said, can you tell David Gray that I love him? And he said, okay.
Yeah, speaking of David Gray, obviously match at the weekend, feels like a bit of a defeat after, again, the performance that we had. Tony, I was quite buoyed by the lineup in regards to the attacking sense. So from a defensive point of view, nothing really fills me with much confidence at the minute. You talked about the clown school, so to speak, recently. So how did you feel when you seen the lineup, just as an overall?
I didn't mind the lineup. I thought sometimes though you worry, like, are you playing too many of your cards all at once, possibly? But it was good to see it. But it just people know I'm a big Yuan fan, but it always smacks a bit of desperation that Gray was kind of sitting in the last chance saloon and just out of nowhere thumps Yuan in, because he played Yuan. He was sort of building up to it during the week, sort of like covering his own back, saying he wasn't. He was just getting over injury, but he was able to use them in 2 games back to back to get the minutes in. Then decided against using them in any minutes for 2 games. Then suddenly he's starting again. So it did sound to me like I need to get my best players in the park, regardless of what I think or what's been going on. And that isn't always the best thing to see. But again, that's purely my perception. I don't know anything.
Yeah. Mark, did you think it was quite similar to that, where it was a case of, based on how recent performances have been and some individual errors, it was a case of, let's just get the best players that we have on the park and just try and hope that something clicks? Or do you think there was a little bit more method to it than that?
Yeah, I thought in terms of like the overall team, I quite liked it. I thought it was bold, but I thought it was just David Gray taking a bit of a gamble and just saying, do you know what, let's go attacking, because if we can't defend, right, if you can't defend and you're conceding goals, then you're going to need to outscore teams, aren't you? You're going to need to score lots of goals, which obviously we didn't end up doing. But my other thing about Yuan is what I was thinking, and this might have been the pints talking, but you always sometimes look at a game and go, this game's sort of made for this type of player. And Yuan, we know that, you know, playing away to Ross County on a Wednesday night, which obviously we've got tomorrow, those types of games I don't think Ellie Yuan gets up for. But an Edinburgh derby or a big game, a European night, whatever,
On the telly.
you know that those are the types of games that he's going to get right up for. Now, look, it didn't work out in the end because he wasn't great in the end, but that was maybe what David Gray was thinking. That this is sort of all lined up. You know, he's been under a lot of pressure, been fairly poor the last few games that he's played. Maybe this will be, you know, it's got him written over it. But so I was fairly happy.
Craig, did you kind of feel that, similar to what the boys have said, but did you think that, like, we were going to have to come out the traps fast and start strong and try and give ourselves a good platform to build on? Because, as kind of Tony kind of touched on, we didn't really have any firepower on the bench to come on and maybe make a difference in comparison to the forward line that we had, for example.
And I think the crowd needed something like that as well after the last few weeks. And obviously what ended up transpiring in that first half was the complete opposite of what I think we all would have wanted. The whole...
Better late than never.
Yes, boys.
Oh, superb.
So,
That's why he's been late, trying to find Stone Cold's fucking theme tune for the last half an hour.
we should have came with the traps flying. If anything, just to get the crowd on side more than anything else. Having that attacking front four, if they were on form, you would fancy that attacking front four against any team in the league. And then obviously the way the game transpired is that we very rarely used them. If anything, I think maybe Yuan had one run where he put the afterburners on and got down the left hand side, but beyond that, they weren't actually utilised.
Yeah.
At all.
That's what was really disappointing for me, is because I think before the game, what the one thing you could say about Hearts is that they lack pace big time all over the park. So that was probably part of David Gray's thinking about playing Boyle and Yuan out wide to really get in behind. And totally agree with Craig. That was probably the most disappointing thing, is that when you look at that starting lineup and the pace that we had, we just didn't use it. We weren't putting balls in behind, we weren't getting them on the ball enough, and they weren't driving. And it was almost like, if you're going to play that sort of formation, you need to, or those players, you need to take advantage of it, and we didn't.
The first half was, I was kind of taken aback by the lack of intensity in the game, full stop. It did, like, one thing about the Edinburgh Derby is you expect it to be low on quality, but a billion miles per hour. And we got the low on quality bit, of course, but I mean, I thought it was pretty slow. And I think from Hibs' point of view, I think that looked relatively deliberate. I think we allowed Hearts to have a lot of the ball. I think they really were letting Hearts try to break Hibs down. They didn't look like they were really capable of it. But like Mark's saying, it's like, apart from Vargas, there's an ability to squeeze the game and sort of like ask them a bit more questions than we did. But Gray would always turn around and say we created probably 4 good chances. And apart from the goal that they got, they didn't really create anything. So he would probably say the game plan probably worked in terms of what he was looking for. But again, that's easy to say for me in hindsight. At the game in that first half, I was like disgusted at like how we were playing.
Yeah.
I think it's an optic thing as well. I mean, nobody should. So, could you imagine Rangers going to Celtic Park and Celtic's game plan is to allow Rangers to have that much of the ball,
especially when they're performing as poorly as Hearts have, if they're equivalent.
So the frustration for me in the first half was the fact that you can, and like you say, Tony, looking back in hindsight, it's easy to say that it worked. But Hearts should never be coming Easter Road and having 60+% of the ball. It just shouldn't happen, and that goes along with your lack of intensity thinking. Ken, there was no, even I know Triantis got booked early on, but there was no real kind of leveler type tackle in the middle of the park to get the fans up. There was no quick burst in the line or get a corner in the first couple of minutes, or there's a shot distance. It might just go just wide, but
it engages the crowd. Yeah, it didn't engage at any time and try to utilise the fact that you're at home, but they didn't create that actually happening.
Liam, what was
I do think, though, I'm a big believer in, if they've got the ball at the back, let them have it there. They can have the ball at the back if they want. And then as soon as they walk past the halfway line, that's when you get on top of them. And that's what frustrated me at times, is that, right, fair enough, let them knock it about the back and that's fine. But as soon as they got past the halfway line, that's when you expect a real tight press. And it wasn't until they got to nearly not far away from the final third, is when players started sort of getting on top of them, which I think that for me was the real frustrating thing. It's like we're allowing them to really slowly build up that play.
Liam, what was your
That's what really annoyed me as well. Hello everyone, it's Liam for the audio listeners. No, that really annoyed me as well. Like for me, Mark, I like exactly like you say, I don't really care if they're knocking the ball about in their own half. That doesn't bother me at all. So I think the possession stats are probably a little bit skewed by the fact that they did that for the majority of the first half. But we played with a back 4 and 2 holding sixes, and they were allowed, not very many times, because there wasn't very many times that they actually posed that much a threat going forward. But when they did, they were allowed to just stroll right through those 8 players.
They got to the box quite frequently. Like, without getting a chance, they got into that area frequently.
And it kind of begged the question, whether the players really understood the kind of sit off and let them have it game plan. But it completely changed second half,
Mark,
which I'm sure you'll
what
touch
was
on.
your
Shaun.
take on the two Dwight Gale chances? Because is that maybe just a lack of sharpness? He had a header at Ibrox. It was very, very similar. He probably should have put that one away. Two great chances then as well. Or do you think it was just more about good defending or good goalkeeping?
That first one for me is a sitter when it's a free header, absolutely brilliant ball in, and it's a free header, and all he has to do I say all he has to do as if it's easy, right? But put that either side of Craig Gordon and it's likely a goal. I think it's one of them. It might be going through his head. It's a big game. It's a derby. Just get it on target. He's maybe that's going through his head, but as an experienced striker that's played at the top, for me that has to go either side of the goalie, get it down low and hard and see how it goes. But the fact that it's right at Craig Gordon, and there was a couple of times, I mean, that Triantis effort, man. I know you're probably the wrong guy, you wanted to fault it, but, Furu on goal and, I think he mishits it or whatever, but just some of the times where put it either side of the goalie, do you know what I mean? And the amount of times we were just hitting it straight at Craig Gordon. Craig Gordon, people will say, had a great game. For me, didn't he?
Couldn't get the fucking way the shots.
He's just he's the luckiest guy in Edinburgh.
He made loads of saves, right? He made probably 3 or 4 saves where it should have been a goal, but that wasn't because they were outstanding saves. It was because they were right at him.
Was it Gale whose touch was poor when Yuan sort of dribbled through the middle and sort of played like a little reverse pass? Because that was like a big chance.
So Gale had the chance that was cleared off the line in the first half, and then he had a header in the first half as well, straight at Gordon again, and then in the second half he had another header, and then the run for Eli Yuan, just straight after Eli Yuan got slated in my group chat, he went on that mazy run, slipped it through to Gale, and then he had that exact chance. So there was 4 good chances, and that's not just mentioning the one that Mark just mentioned. So when David Gray said in his post-match 5 or 6 good opportunities, he's not far off that. Very similar to like the game plan that you've alluded to, Tony, as well. One thing I'm quite keen to touch on, especially more in the first half, or at least the first 60 odd minutes, Craig, is O'Hora and Ekpiteta. What was your overall thoughts on the level of their performance?
I thought Ekpiteta had a great game.
Aye.
All honesty, I think it's pretty clear that you want to try and avoid giving him the ball in any circumstance because really not comfortable, weirdly kicking a football.
Defensively, though, he's great, isn't he?
Aye.
But defensively, I mean, Shankland and Vargas never got a sniff out of him. I think he had one instance, maybe at sort of near the start of the first half, where Vargas closed him down, and he kind of turned like he didn't care what he was doing. He was just starting to panic, and I think Vargas maybe sensed, oh, if I get on this boy, like I'm going to cause him to make a mistake. And he never put a foot wrong. Shankland never got a sniff out of him either when he tried to go toe to toe. And Shankland, for all he's actually quite good at his hold up play and his link up play, and he's using his physicality because we can all see how chunky he is. He's quite good at using that well. But Ekpiteta never gave either of them a sniff. Aerially, I think he won everything as well.
It's twisted a bit now, because when Ekpiteta first came in, he looked like bomb scare, all the usual language that you would see. But it's now he looks like he's a proper meat and potatoes defender. And now to me, it looks like O'Hara in that game, for example, man, he was hacking at everything. He looked absolutely blind panic whenever the ball, and he was sold as the footballer in the pair. That was the idea, is that he came in as the footballer. But O'Hara's performances, and he's been given the captaincy and stuff. So there's obviously, he was thought of as a bit of a signing by the way that we've behaved since he came in. But his performances are absolutely diving.
I have to say though, right, see a big difference that it makes between the two of them, between O'Hara and Ekpiteta, is the fact that O'Hara's got Obita next to him and Ekpiteta's got Lewis Miller next to him. I think they just make each other really uncomfortable because neither of them can play football. And Lewis Miller, I have to say, look, I was a fan of Lewis Miller in that and still am, but he's been probably one of our worst players this season. He doesn't look like a footballer.
No, he's an athlete.
He's got all the attributes, he's got all the physicality in that, but he just looks, every time he touches the ball, it's bouncing off his shins, it's going everywhere. So I think that'll be a big thing. Ekpiteta knows that when he gives the ball, it's going to Miller and it's going to come back at him at 100 miles an hour and probably, in the wrong direction or whatever. Whereas O'Hara's probably a bit more comfortable knowing that he can play it to Obita, who's pretty calm. So I do have to feel Ekpiteta in that sense.
I think Obita he's done a little bit better. I thought he had an absolutely rotten start to the season. In the last couple of weeks, I think he's kind of shown that.
Since that penalty,
yeah. I think he's sort of shown his quality that we saw last season, because it was really disappointing, to be honest, at the start of the season to see how how far he'd fallen off. But I thought he was good again on Sunday and offered a half decent threat going forward.
Mark, you just mentioned about Lewis Miller, and I posed the question on last week's episode about David Gray maybe being too loyal to certain individuals. He mentioned in his post-match interview again about too many mistakes for the same individuals. Do you think it's going to get to the point where he then no longer can trust them? And whether it's Obita not winning a header against Alan Forrest, or whether it's Lewis Miller being outmuscled by a 17-year-old and not being alert, because the Shanklin chance in the second half, he gets beat as well, Lewis Miller, and it's been like that every other week. So at what point does David Gray, can he draw the line? And is it just because Cadden's injured as well, or what's your take on that?
It could be a lack of options. I don't know, but it has to change because, look, like I say, he's got all the attributes and the physicality, but see, what really frustrates me is how often he gets caught wrong side. For me, that's like, do you know what I mean? That's primary one basic football stuff. You always stay goal side the attacker, and the amount of times he's caught wrong side is absolutely frightening, and it allows the boys to run, breeze past them and get into the box and create chances. And I just think with how clumsy he is on the ball, and for me, it might be a lack of confidence on his regard because he started poorly, and I think he's one of those boys that instead of shying away for the ball like a lot of people with low confidence does, he tries too hard. He tries too hard to get on the ball and go on these runs and do things that he shouldn't be doing, like doing a Maradona turn on the edge of his own box. Like just that, trying to nutmeg the Hearts playing his own, like our own half and that, just stupid stuff. But look, maybe Gray's just shown confidence in him because he's a young player and we know that he can play well. We've seen him, that performance at Celtic Park springs to mind, or against Celtic at home. We know there's a player in there when he does the basics, he does them well.
I thought he was pretty good, in fairness to him, I thought he was pretty good in an attacking sense when we were at Ibrox the other week. He was like our main way of getting up the park, Miller, when we were playing the sort of long diagonals. Obviously, he was sort of bullying is it Jeffy or whatever, the left back that's at Rangers, and there was like a huge height disparity. So I think Gray likes to use that. The ball gets sort of like dinked to Miller quite a lot, putting his head down. But we could start going through. I mean, we're just going to wait till later till we go on to the main problem. That's the goalkeeper that causes blind panic through the entire team. Because that's maybe another reason why Gray decided to play the way he did, is that he was trying to protect his goalkeeper, because it worked. Because the guy never had to make any saves. But the second he was involved, like even the Shanklin one when he hit the shot right at him, man, it's like he saves it, but it goes fucking mad. The way he is, it's like every single thing that you rate a goalkeeper on, you're like, I'm worried about it. And obviously, like, he doesn't. The goal doesn't come from him, but it all comes in that situation where the panic's all getting set in, because we've got to that stage where there's no way that we can stop Hearts coming on to us, because it's that late in the game.
Before we touch on their goal as well, Tony, what was your take on the subs that were made? So, because for me at the time, bringing Mariah Welsh, Shaun and Kukarevich, I thought was quite negative, but I kind of understood because of the game that Gale had and the amount of minutes that Ellie Ewans had. But obviously it worked out because Kukarevich ended up scoring. But how did you see those subs at the time?
And then Mariah Welsh, he's obviously thinking legs, and press a bit. Mariah Welsh is completely non-existent, because we're starting to get to the stage where you just realise that sometimes you just get a bit excited about players because they've been shit for so long. And Mariah Welsh is kind of coming under that sort of bracket at the start. You're like, oh, he gets around a bit, he's busy. And then you start like letting that sort of cloud your judgment on him being like a player. Doyle Hayes, do you bring him on in a derby when he's not kicked the ball for 2 years? Just that, again, with the... That just seemed a bit panic. That sort of sent a message around the whole team, and then you're just dropping deeper and deeper. But I think there's been questions about Gray's subs every week, and if you have a rookie manager, they make mistakes, especially when they go on such a bad run, and then you obviously just start to be trying to buy yourself a win. You sit in deeper, you bring on defensive midfielder. Doyle Hayes is obviously relatively tidy on the ball, so he thinks he can get out there, but I think it maybe sent a bit of a message around the team, and it sort of got us to a stage where there was no way of really getting up the park.
Yeah, Craig,
It's
David
not
Gray's come under a lot of flack since, like, obviously post match, and naturally because yet again we conceded a late goal at home in a game that we should have had out of sight. What was your take on leading up to their goal, and was there anything else that David Gray could have done or should have done that maybe could have prevented that, or is it just a case of yet again David Gray's being let down by individual errors and people not doing their job properly?
It's probably a bit of both. I mean, it's it's not necessarily the Doyle Hayes sub that's the issue. It's the message that it sends out, like Tony says, to the rest of the stadium. So I think Doyle Hayes comes on about the 80th minute, right? And he comes on for Hoylett. So then you're then looking at the clock, right? So there's 10 minutes to go, and we're now saying the message is now have the ball, we're going to defend, and we're going to get rid of
But
everything.
Gray could argue that he'd done that in the first half, and it was a success. He let Hearts have
Yeah,
the
but
ball.
there's avenues out. There's avenues out in the first half because of the players that are in further forward, and that you're able to build through the team.
Yeah, when Doyle Hayes comes on, it sends a message because I'm looking at the clock and I'm thinking, right, 80 minutes, but there's probably going to be about 5 or 6 minutes injury time. So you've got a whole third of a half effectively still to play. You've still got 15, 16 minutes. And regardless of how poor the attacking team is, no many teams can hold off for that amount of time. And then obviously the goal itself is just a catalogue. Like how they get 3 uncontested headers in the box and then it falls to the young laddie. And again, that's probably something that Gray could have done. What Critchley done was trusted a youngster. What was wrong with bringing on Rudy for it and still having Boyle and Rudy as the 2 outlets out wide?
And Molotnikov puts in effort as well. He's a hard-working player because he's so young. Naturally. So it's not like you would be losing someone who's not going to put it in the last sort of 15 minutes either.
Yeah,
it's screwed me as so. The only way I can describe it right is the subs that David Gray made are the subs that I'm forced to make on Football Manager when I've not got the right players on the bench. Because Mariah Wells should not be ending up. We shouldn't be finishing a game 4-5-1 with 4 central midfield. I think even Kwon got pushed forward into the 10 for a couple of minutes. And it's just, again, it's not necessarily the subs themselves, it's the optics of the subs. And the fact that for the goal itself, like Tony says, it's no the goalie's fault, but he causes a blind panic by not scooping up a simple ball, conceding a corner. And I know there's loads of phases that come from the corner to the ball going out before the ball comes in back in for the goal. But it's just so many. You've got the goalie, you've got Obita, you've got Ahora, and then you've got fucking Lewis Miller getting out muscled by a child.
Liam,
it screams of desperation, though, doesn't it?
It's not even desperation.
No, but it is desperation in terms of the fact that he just doesn't know what else to do.
So I'm talking about Miller.
I'm talking about the subs as well, but
but not at all. Like Tony says, the intent that you want a fast start, you get the momentum early doors, get the crowd on your side. In the last 5 to 10 minutes, you want to be doing stuff to get the crowd back up again. 5 minutes to go. We've won 1 game all season. We're 1-0 up against Hearts. Not only is this points on the board, but this could be a real momentum builder for us. Miller's severe lack of intensity to get himself in front of that ball that's come in is shambolic. Like I said, he's getting out muscled by a child.
And you compare that to our goal, where he then has the awareness to go for the first header for the free kick because it's in an attacking phase of play rather than his job as a defender is to defend. So he should be more alert defending the game rather than wanting to attack. So you flip it on its head and think, well, you can do that, fine. Because my argument all the time is, why don't defenders or defending players just treat it as if it's the other end of the pitch? they'll be more alert, they'll be more aware of what's around them. But that never turns out to be the case.
It's an annoyance that we seem to be really good from an attack. I don't understand how we can be.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I know what's coming now.
From an attacking sense at set pieces, whether it be corners, throw-ins, free kicks, and yet at the opposite end of the park, we can be so fucking bad at defending set piece. Like I didn't get there's why can't there be like a mash in the middle? We're quite good, we're really bad.
Liam, I know that you had severe post-match rage, and you even text me today saying that you were glad I was hosting because you're still absolutely fuming. So before we move on to the listener questions to summarise and wrap up the game's weekend, I'll let you have the closing comments before we move on to the listener questions.
I'm just fucking raging about how we can't hold on to a lead against Kilmarnock, against Dundee United, against Dundee, against fucking Hearts, who have had their worst start ever.
And we still
right
below them.
And we're still below. Well, listen, we've got a game in hand, that's fine. But genuinely, it really, 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 really fucked me off. Just the way that we shat it towards the end of the game. And there was like a massive thing made on social media in the lead up to the game about how the fans and the negative energy from the stands like bleeds onto the pitch, and whether it's whether that's got a part to play in how the players react. And you could tell that when we went 1-0 up and it was ticking over to the last 10 minutes, everyone is sitting there thinking, we need another goal here, or they're going to score. It's as simple as that. They always do it every single fucking time. They always do it. We should know. How many times have we played this mob? How many times have we seen this movie? It's a fucking joke. David Gray's been there as a player. He's been there as a coach. He should have let them know. Fucking go till the end. Didn't he make stupid fucking substitutions? Bring on cunts that haven't played in fucking months.
I was sat in the office on Friday, right, and I said to one of the boys sitting next to me, I'll tell you exactly how the game will go. Hibs will have the better chances, and a young laddie that nobody's heard his name before will score a last-minute equaliser or a last-minute winner. Like, it's mad how much we can, how we know what is fucking coming.
How much did we flap as well after they'd scored?
Oh, fuck it. That game goes on for 1 or 2 minutes more, we lose.
Oh,
it's as simple as that.
You're waiting within the next 10 minutes.
Fucking, honestly, as soon as I went in, I'm going, well, there's no point in sticking about because we're not going to score a winner, are we? It takes absolutely everything. And I don't think we were particularly good going forward on Sunday. We did enough against a Hearts side that were very, very, very poor, might I add. I think they've got a squad full of good individual players. I don't think they're really gelling that much at the moment, especially Critchley's just in the door. He's obviously trying to stamp some sort of style and philosophy on the team, but they were there for the taking. They were not any great shakes.
That's another problem, Liam, is like, that's what we're at 9 league games. I still can't really tell you what type of team we are, how we play. There's no real patterns of play. At least in this game, I could kind of see maybe where Gray was coming from and what he was trying to do. But again, that's us playing an individual match rather than us trying to grow into having an identity as a team. And
is that the right thing to do, though? Is that genuinely the right thing to do at home in a derby?
When you've not got any points on the board, he probably does think it is. And this is the problem. We shouldn't be in this scenario where that becomes a debate, something that he has to think about. But the really frustrating thing after this is that the season just already feels dead, and basically you're just thinking, are we going to get in serious bother? And so now it feels like the only sort of like blood rushing, high blood pressure stuff is going to be staying in the league. So you're either going to have a nothing season, which is now the preference, or we're going to go through the fucking ringer again. Because like everything else just feels like it's just not there to be had yet.
See, just before we move on, Shaun, I've got a couple more bits. Right, something that you said, Craig, either last week or the week before, I can't remember, when we were talking about derbies, and you said that how many times have you come away from a derby being more annoyed that we didn't win rather than the fact that we lost or that we drew? How telling was that on Sunday? How annoying was the fact that we just didn't put another one of their chances in before they scored? Because how many fucking times? Oh, we should have just put them to the sword, man. Seriously. And also, do you think we're in serious danger of going down?
But that Triantis chance for me is an absolute fucking sickener.
Was he offside though?
No, he wasn't. To
was
me,
on the far side. It was offside.
Yeah.
I might be sounding a bit hyperbolic with this, right? But if you're charged with being in and around the box when a set piece is being taken, and you can't finish a chance like that, regardless of what position you play in the park, you shouldn't be anywhere near the area.
Because it's a waste of time.
Because that is basically a penalty at fives. That is what he got. He's about 8-9 yards out, and he's kicked it right at the goal. He's kicked it right at the tallest goalie in the league. You put it either side, it's a goal. Similar to the goal.
Fair, see if that falls to me, I'm not even sure I'm hitting the target.
You're not even sure if you're hitting the ball, Leo. Never mind the target.
I don't even know if I'd be in that position. I don't think I'd catch up to the ball.
Once again, it's one of those ones where you come away thinking, like, tells it feels like a defeat.
Yeah, and I said that right at the outset. We'll move on to the listener questions before we actually get into it. We've got another couple of more fun, upbeat stuff to get involved in, so I would rather concentrate on that than the nonsense that was that at the weekend. But
now it's time to answer the Hibs Ramble listener questions.
John McIntosh has finally plucked up the courage again to bring back the Ramble tradition of the first listener question of what is for dinner. So Tony, kick us off. What have you had or having for dinner this evening?
I think I'm having gnocchi. I think that's what's getting made right now. I can't remember. It's like some sort of creamy sauce with it, so I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm on my way. Liam?
Pakora pizza from Mario's in Lone Heath.
Fucking always pizza. I don't even listen to every single episode, man, but it's every fucking time it's fucking pizza.
Right. Well, it's because Megan's out tonight, right? She's staying at her ma's with Mila, and I'm here with Tommy, and there's nothing in the house that Ken. It's one of them that. No, we have done a food shop. We are due a food shop in the next couple of days, to be fair. But it's coming to the end of the food shop cycle for this week.
The truth is, your bird's away, so you're like, I can get away with getting a fucking manky Pakora pizza, and I'll hide the box outside before she gets back.
The only things that are in the fridge are things that would be suitable for 2 people. So I didn't want to waste that.
No.
You know what I mean? So I'm just going to get myself a Pakora pizza, call it a day. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
I just got a thingy bag of chips for the chippy, actually.
Oh,
old school. You rarely hear that anymore.
So you
just getting a bag of chips.
Bag of chips, and I got two bits of Warburton toasty, buttered them both. Scalp chips in the middle.
How much is a fucking just a pure bag of chips these days?
I think it was $3.50.
Oh. How many chips did you get?
Like a 5.
I fucking still counted them.
Yeah, it was a healthy pot. It wasn't like when you open the bag and there's space. Like they packed the wee cardboard box out. Like,
what chippy did you go to?
Yeah, shout out the Sultan at East Craigs.
Oh, aye.
Oh, the Sultan is good.
The Sultan is good. I've had it.
Tell you what, delivery is absolutely outstanding for there.
What, do you go directly to them, or is that a just eat job?
Oh, it's just eat feeling now.
Again, he's a fucking lazy bastard, Tony.
Only too dark for me. I get scared in the dark.
Fair enough.
So
the Mean Streets East Craig. Who knows what's coming out the joking?
That's Hertz territory as well.
18 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah, when I used to stay at my mum's house, used to get for the Sultan. It was a belter. Did good munchy boxes.
I had
just like Shaun's a BT. He's all just in fucking disgust.
I want to move on to the other questions now. Spinach and ricotta.
Shaun, what's your favourite chippy?
The Four Ways in Kirkliston. Tremendous chippy. If you know, you know.
So what are you having for your tea? You've not answered.
I just had spinach and ricotta ravioli.
Lovely.
With a Cajun sauce.
Lovely.
And then because, Craig, as you'll know, I'm trying to increase my calories after it, I'm having a Coronation chicken pie. Don't know how that works. Never seen one before. Never had one before. So
I think it's the same as every other pie. You put it as a filling, and then you put a lid in it. The technique doesn't change.
No.
I can't get behind Coronation chicken because I just cannot endorse sultanas, I'm afraid. What?
You can get without raisins.
Oh, can you? Oh,
Aye,
still.
not all of them.
It's the principle, isn't it?
Spinach is the best thing to go in ravioli.
Yes, completely agree.
Definitely agree.
Completely agree. I think there's a wee what's it called? There's a wee sauce or something that goes over the spinach as well. Delish. Tony, I'll ask you this one. This is for Billy, which I'm assuming Liam and Craig have kind of already touched on it, and it's probably been put in their group chat. So Liam's touched on it already, but a lot of debate leading up in the game regarding fans' negativity and how it can impact the players. But my question is, are fans justified by the feelings towards the club just now, or should supporters actually support the club and players regardless?
Of course, you're justified to feel it. So I think it's always this idea of like just being able to just go against your sort of feelings and your human nature, like just if you're angry or just pretend you're not. It's not like, especially when things start going fucking terribly on the park. There's always got to be a bit of give and take, right? You get the start, you get the support, you sell the season tickets, and people go on your side. But then then you have to have the alternative. Then the fact that it really annoys me because I was talking about this to someone because a new manager in Scotland, I think, touched on this exact, and he said there was a give and take that you start for the first. So like the first 5 minutes, you're going to get what you're given for the fans. You're always going to get that. You're always going to get roared on. And then it takes you a bit where you have to make sure you bring a bit of intensity onto the park. And then you get the give and take. And then once that grows, and then once you build up trust with the fans, like the actual team, so you know when they start playing shit, you want to support them because you know you've got their back. But again, there needs to be a bit of give and take in that. Even like Stubbsy's team, they had some absolute honking, man. They didn't even get promoted. But you know, in big games, like we had 2 years in the championship, they knew in big games that they would turn up, so you knew they had it in them. So it would like they had a bit of your faith.
It's like Neil Lennon. We had like 14 draws in the championship, but when we played Hearts, Celtic, or Rangers, you fancied us to win.
And so these things are earned a bit, and it does have to be a two-way street. I don't think you should boo players onto the park, and I think you should obviously give people their best, and you shouldn't be fucking dishing out like proper honking abuse, but expecting it just to be full-blown singing everywhere. It's just no realistic. And like you get the young team, they do that for all their faults and all that. They try and do that, but it's a cultural thing as well. Like cunts like me, I'm nearly 40. I didn't just go. I'd just have a pint and then sit and watch a game and clapping that. I mean, it's just I'm not singing the fucking Walter Mercer song at the top of my voice for the 90 minutes. It's just the way it is. Get me a nighttime game. Get it, and I'll do anything. But I think it's ultimately it has to be a two-way thing. And then you build up trust over time, and then you get sort of unbridled support at all times because there's a bit of faith.
I tell you what, someone stick this bloke on the telly because he kens what he's fucking talking about.
Maybe for longer than half an hour or 45 minutes now instead of the wee silly segments.
I get the bits other people only watch for. Aye, perfect.
The boy that's built a dugout in his garden to look on that was tremendous, honestly.
Yeah, maybe he was not popular on the from what I saw online. The guy who built that thing just so he could watch the games.
Rate it, honestly. Craig, Mark Tate has asked, other than Liam always saying no but listen as if he's being interviewed on Match of the Day, why? You must have said that a lot last week. How many times will Liam say no but listen as if he's been interviewed on Match of the Day? He did follow up with an actual question, which I'll point in Craig's direction. Why at the minute is it always Hearts that seem to have the exciting young Scottish talent breaking through despite us having far superior training facilities and academy? What's your thoughts on that one? And I think it's a bit much to go exciting young Scottish talent. I think that's a bit of a stretch, but
Yeah,
you
like,
get the point.
let's be honest. The chances of this laddie making a name for himself, going down south and whatever, and being a mainstay for a decentish team is probably relatively small based on the. You even look at somebody as established as Kevin Nisbet went down and couldn't kick his arse at Millwall's, now came back up the road. But I actually think COVID's got a lot to do with it. I think when you look at players, so if you look at players now, those exciting ones, 17, 18, at those really formative years when you go to 11 asides. So James Wilson would have been, 12 when COVID hit? And football was effectively banned for 12 to 18 months. So without going too deep
Down
into
this
that
rabbit
side,
hole.
only because I was involved in it. Like my laddie's 14, so he was 9 when COVID hit, and he wasn't allowed to play football at all. And it could be one of a number of things. I mean, you hear about obviously Kevin Thompson, Stephen Whittaker, Scott Brown, etc. They've all got their kids in the Hibs Academy. I don't think they'd have them there based on the profile of players that they were if they didn't trust it. I know there's talk about why is Lewis Stevenson's laddie at Rangers, but I don't know. It goes in cycles. It really does go in cycles. I mean, the last one that we properly brought through was Ryan Porteous, I would say.
Doig.
Aye, Josh Doig.
I wouldn't count Doig because he came for Hearts. I mean, it's somebody who's probably been at the academy from X age and went through all the age groups.
Josh Campbell.
But
We were trying to get through without people dropping these sort of controversial bombs.
No,
right,
but
I'm having Noki for dinner. Right, leave it.
he is technically a successful, isn't he? Because 100 games for the first team.
If you look at his appearances and that he is a success story.
In my eyes, he's a success. I love Josh Campbell.
Yeah, I'm a Campbell guy.
We'll move on.
Should really have 100 games, but I don't dislike Campbell like others. But
I think the lack of. I mean, you look at there's no that actually many exciting Scottish players overall.
I'm thinking how are Hearts bringing through? But Hickey, I mean, Hickey was like a proper sort of near enough a generational talent. He's probably not going to hit the heights now because of what's happening to him. That's a bit of he's a bit of a one-off, I'd say.
Find a lot of the young Scottish talent going down south very, very early. 15.
It's really a problem that now we didn't even get to enjoy it. That's just something I really hate about Scottish football in general now. Is that and the young players are starting to leverage us. I mean, we had it ourselves that if they're not playing by 16, 17, and the first, so you're basically now getting to the stage where you're going to get forced to play players when they're no probably ready because you want to be able to keep them around because you've got expectations of them, or they just get to go down south. And I think that's going to be a really sad part of football. Maybe as we get older, is that there'll be less and less sort of like top players that come through for you. Like for us, a Riordan or a Connor, like a guy with that much natural talent would be fucking so far gone before we'd even fucking heard who he is. And that's shit. That's really shit.
That's why we'll see, the likes of Lennon Miller coming through at Motherwell and other players coming through at the teams that need to play those players because of the shape that their squad's in, the shape of their budget. That like their exposure to the first team in those situations is going to help them tenfold compared to a player playing for Hibs and a couple of dead rubbers in the bottom six at the end of the year.
I mean, him and Doak are probably the only ones now that you could actually say are exciting young Scottish players. Like going off on a bit of a tangent, but Lennon Miller should be in the Scotland squad already, in my opinion.
Lennon Miller is a superb player.
He will be. I mean, they only kept him there because they wanted under 21 to qualify, but then they ended up getting beat up Kazakhstan anyway. But Miller definitely, he's brilliant, incredible player.
Answer probably due to COVID and the fact that football was stopped at such a integral part of a young player's development.
Liam, just the last question is solely towards the weekend's match. There was another couple of questions which we'll quickly fire through after this one, but Davey's asking more around the consistent negative fan approach, mainly at Easter Road in bigger games. So like the lighters being thrown, the coins being thrown, and is there anything that you feel that the club could maybe try and do a little bit more, or is it just again a small minority that is making the club look bad?
I think it is a small minority. It seems, I don't know if it's just because we've got our spotlight on Hibs all the time. It seems like it is things being flung from Hibs ends more often than not that is getting the media attention.
The time of the kickoffs isn't making a difference nowadays either. 12 o'clock at the
No.
weekend, 7:45, 8 o'clock, it doesn't matter. At the minute, if it's Celtic, Rangers, Hibs, Hearts, Aberdeen, and if it's those 5 clubs involved and they're at Easter Road, that just seems to always be the case.
Yeah, it's. I think it is a small minority. I mean, 99.9% of fans will never throw anything at somebody doing their job on the park. I get that they're Hearts players and they wind you up. It's their job. That's the nature of football. Fling them abuse. Tell them that they're fat. Tell them that they're ugly. But throwing things at them, regardless of whether it's going to hurt them or not, that's abhorrent.
I find it really weird.
There's absolutely no need for it.
I find it really weird because not to justify it at all, but it's like, see if someone scores and they come in front of it, like I can see it almost like a crime of passion that someone might partake in. See, when it's just like a throw in at the side, that sounds like it's like almost premeditated that I'm gonna do that. So I think neither are good, but I find that one is like weird that I can't even just what's going through your mind. Oh, I'm just gonna chuck a lighter at the fucking Adam Eckersley or something like that.
A pie or a drink or anything like that.
No, but listen, the chips were funny.
Yeah, I mean, food fights are always a laugh.
That's the anomaly. The chips.
What was it that was thrown on at Tynecastle for the Hibs end?
Bottle opener.
No.
Like an
that's really bad.
No.
Like an actual like wine bottle.
Random fruit.
A coconut.
Yeah, was it a
coconut?
Yeah.
I remember that
Somebody
flying
threw a
past me.
coconut.
There was a coconut. There's been crutches on the park at Tynecastle from the Hibs end. Well, I think that was when we scored though, and someone flung their crutch onto the park. On the opener, vapes. I mean, it's getting to that stage where Hibs fans are sort of getting that reputation, and if it keeps going this way, then I think that if it keeps going the way it's going, I think there's a very, very, very strong possibility that away fans will no longer be allowed at Edinburgh derbies.
Craig, did you have anything else to add to that?
What I would say is it is quite not a positive thing, but at least it can't be blamed on Block 7.
Yeah.
Like for other faults, that came from
Where
the
did
area
it come from?
East Stand.
It came from the area.
Stand, the closest section to the away fans. Where
the only other thing
I suppose
was the flare that got thrown. I think we've all seen on Twitter the work that I think his name's Stevie, the groundsman, who's done to get the pitch in an unbelievable condition.
Jez.
So it's a bit. What?
Jez Simpson.
Jez as well.
I only see the one, but I don't know. I don't care if there's more than one.
Jez is Shaun, mate. That's why.
Big Rambler.
But the work that they've done to get the pitch in the condition that they have is unreal. And I'm not really arsed about the away fans, but the fact that somebody in the famous 5 threw the flare onto the park when we scored was a bit shite.
Even the flares, like, why'd you have to throw it on the park? Why'd you have to do that bit? Like, you've stuck the flare in, people don't like it, but it looks colourful. I get why someone might want to do it. But the bit when you throw it on the park, like, why'd you want to do that bit? Like, what's the benefit of that?
Tony,
delaying the game. That's shite. Especially when you've just scored. You delay the game, so all the momentum stopped, and then it's fun.
I've never understood why you would do that.
Tony, we've spoke at length in the last couple of episodes about where David Gray lies, and this is the last question from the listeners before we move on to kind of the quiz related stuff that we've got for the upcoming matches. But I just wanted your take on where you think David Gray sits at the minute in regards to his job security. There's a couple of questions that have came in for Nick and Matt's football podcast and Dino as well regarding that, and then stuff about us not being able to keep a lead and things like that. But see David Gray's role, where do you see that at the minute, and do you think it has a shorter lifespan than maybe Malky and Ian had maybe initially anticipated?
Yeah, I think he was always put in there because I've always felt the Gray one was a bit of a sort of human shield, a bit of protection. The fact that he's been there for quite so long had so many shots and they've never used them and went for other people. Gives me the vibe that they maybe didn't absolutely think he's like the second coming of Pep, would be my gut instinct. So I think they are hoping that obviously because he's there, that takes a bit of the heat off them at time, because obviously he's a club legend, etc. But he's in trouble. Of course he is. If you're at the bottom of the league, any manager would be in trouble at this point. Never mind one who's got like a quote-unquote experienced manager who's probably pals with the chairman sitting right there, and obviously who we know vocally was said isn't one of the major shareholders guys he fancies. So, I mean, he's not in a great position as a person. He's clearly a guy who had to take a risk, because most people wouldn't have wanted it, but he's got, if you're David Gray, you have to take that opportunity. If you want to move into management and jobs like that come along.
He's been set up to fail?
I mean, I tell you, don't think he's been helped. I would argue any young manager isn't going to do particularly well. But all these things can be true, by the way. You can, like, Gray can be out his depth and maybe not cut out for it. And he can also not be given the correct tools. He's not having the correct coaches be around it. I mean, this is just the horrible truth. It all can be shit, every single part of Hibs. And it likely is, if we're being honest.
Well,
all the evidence would point to that.
Something that I'm hoping is not shit is Liam's participation in the quiz that I'm about to put him through, because he's been begging me for it for weeks. We now finally have it. So we're going to move on to 3 quick fire quizzes. There's one for each of you. Liam is going to get the shirt number game. So Tony, Craig, feel free to participate, but it is solely for Liam's benefit.
I think that Craig would also like this game.
Craig would absolutely love this one, but I've got one lined up.
Me and Craig are very... that's our...
We can happily, I'll happily do it as a threesome if Tony wants to get involved in the shirt number game as well.
Why not?
Right.
I love shirt numbers. I hope it's not just Hibs, because I love all shirt numbers.
So what we'll do, because it's a double game week and we've got Ross County tomorrow and then Dundee United, our approach in regards to previewing it will probably be similar. So yes, we'll touch on it for like 5 minutes or that at the end, but we've got 3 games lined up. One is Hibs shirt number related, which all 3 of the gents will take part in. 5 quick fire questions, and then there are 3 quick fire questions, one about Ross County matches and one about Dundee United matches, obviously involving Hibs. Okay. And it just allows us to talk about the opponents that we're playing without probably previewing it, because realistically, we probably don't want to talk about the current squad. So, 5 questions, lads. I'll go through one at a time, and I'll get your answers off you, and then I'll confirm if it's correct or not, okay? So, question number 1, nice and simple. What number does Nectar Triantis currently wear at Hibernian? Okay.
Are you going through each?
26. I'll ask you each before we move on to the next one, and then I'll confirm if it's correct or not. Tony?
26.
Liam?
26.
Craig? I didn't.
You're on mute, Craig.
Anything there. Cool.
Previously number 23 last season.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that maybe comes up in a question. But yes, you are correct. It is number 26. After Kukarevich, which Hibs player has had the highest number at the club, and what number was it? Okay. So,
what, at the moment?
No, in general. So I'll give you a minute to think about it. So Kukarevich holds the number 99, so therefore you cannot get a higher number than that from a squad number. What is the next highest number, and what player was it that had it?
Was it not Mikel Antoine Courier who also had 99?
Well, other than the number 99. Sorry, I should have rephrased it. Other than the number 99.
Craig put in a beep, 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 so I think he wants to say something.
I know that Craig will have the answer. Tony,
well, I forget that all these quizzes are mainly just to make Liam look bad. I forget that that's the...
I fucking won the quiz last week, Tony. I hold the belt.
So, Tony, other than the number 99, what is the next highest number at Hibernian that has been used, and what is the player?
I've absolutely no idea.
Okay.
I've got the number 88's in my head, but I don't know if that's just because someone else at another club's got it. But
Gary Hooper.
He wore green and white.
Liam, are you aware of
Victor Paulsen, 91.
Belter.
Craig?
I fucking thought I had on there,
Yeah,
Paulsen, 91.
it is. It's Victor Paulsen with number 91. Yes, that's correct.
What was it that Paulson done when he was here? Did he piss on someone or?
I was just about to say that, Craig. Sorry, Tony. I was just about to say that. I don't think Antoine Courier had 99 at Hibs. I think it was.
Was it at Hamilton
He
that
had
he had
99
99?
somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Paulson allegedly.
Can I still keep my point though, Shaun, even though my first answer was incorrect?
I clarified the question, so I'll allow you to have the point. Sorry, Craig. I know you won't like that.
Yeah, because his question wasn't very clear, Craig. So you can't really grudge that.
Question number 3: which player at the club at the minute has held their number for the longest? So there's 3 points on offer here: 1 the player, 2 the number, and 3 the season that they were given that number.
Oh, this is a great question.
So I'll repeat the question just for the listeners as well. Which current Hibernian player has had their shirt number the longest? Which player is it? What number is it? And when were they given it?
Is he going to scum us, Craig, do you think?
I've got my answer, I think.
I think he's going to scum us here.
No, I've got 2.
So they are.
I've got.
Right, yous have got 2, so I'll come to Tony. What is your 3 answers for that? Player, number, and season he was given it.
Thinking Joe Neal.
Okay.
11.
Okay.
And I think, did he not get the season he came because he was a winger?
Which is...
Oh, fucking hell, man. How long's Neil been here now? Because he's here during COVID. So 2019-20?
Okay. Liam, what 2 did you have, and tell me which one you're going with?
I'm going with Newell 11, 1920. But the other one that I was thinking of was Martin Boyle. But there was a 10 in between his spells. So I'm going with Newell 11, 1920.
Craig?
Newell 11, 18. But also, I don't know if he'd made his debut by that point, Josh Campbell with 32.
So the answer is Joe Newell, number 11, 1920 season. Oof. That's when he was given it.
So does Craig get the point because he said 18-19?
Well, he would get 2 out of the 3. If he said 18-19, that would be incorrect.
Yeah, Josh Campbell made his debut the season after COVID.
Yeah, so there's 4 other players in the squad that were given their number since the following season.
Cadden's one of them. Cadden got 12.
No, Cadden wore 27 when he first came.
Yeah, 27 and 12.
Yeah, not talking about that. 12's the longest.
Liam, you mentioned Martin Boyle there. What was Martin Boyle's first number when he came at the club? Is question number 4.
17.
Didn't even give the boys a chance to think about that. I'm just going to assume that you were all going to say 17 then.
Yeah, we're all doing nods. Yeah. And even if I wasn't going to say that, I'm nodding, so that counts.
Exactly. Fucking hell, Liam. Honestly. Okay.
You asked me. You went, Liam, what number was Martin Boyle when he first came to Hibs?
I've also froze. I don't know if I froze for you guys. But Nathan Mariah Welsh. Okay. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All good?
I can hear you.
Right, I've definitely just froze then. Cool. Nathan Mariah Welsh went from number 30 to 22 this season. Who wore the number 22 before him? And you'll need to tell me when you're ready, because I can't see you.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Tony?
I'm not entirely sure here. This has got me, I think. Oh, I know. Yeah, we've got it now. Got it now, aye.
I'm just going to assume, since I can't see, that Liam has just done the celebration.
That wasn't me.
Bastards.
A celebration we'll never get to fucking see, but a celebration nonetheless.
So, Tony, who is it then?
Harry McCurdy.
That's correct. I'm assuming that you said that as well.
Yes, Harold McCurdy.
What? That's probably been the saddest part of the last 2 years, is that we signed a boy with unreal celebration and never ever.
Tell what is also, we signed McCurdy, who's got a brilliant celebration. We've never seen it. And then we signed Chef Kikuchi, who had a great celebration, and we never saw that either.
I mean, he used to chuck yazoos at refs and that. I mean, we've seen fuck all from McCurdy. Not even seen that part of him. Like,
half decent hairdo though.
I don't know about that. Move on to a quiz relating to Ross County and Hibs matches. Quite curious to see if you will get this one actually. So there's 3 questions. Again, similar to the last format, I'll ask the question and then let me know when you have got the answer, and we'll take it from there.
So did I win the last one, Shaun?
I think by a point you would have technically, by the year, yeah.
Even though he said courier, but
No, we've VAR checked this one, Craig. We've VAR checked this one, and that's now 2 quizzes in a row that I've beat you at. So shut your fucking noise.
Yes, so Ross County, we obviously play them tomorrow, and let's not bother previewing that. Let's just have some fun and talk about previous defeats or draws.
Old games.
Aye, exactly. So the first question in this quickfire quiz: name me the 2 scorers from the last time we won in Dingwall.
Fucking hell.
2018 was it? Last time
Oh no, I remember.
So in the last,
no, it was 2022. No, I remember.
In the last 6 visits
I
to
remember.
Dingwall, just while you are having a think, the last 6 visits to Dingwall, there have been 2 Hibs victories, 1 defeat, and 2 wins, 2 defeats, and a draw.
Yeah, I've got the goal scorers in the last one.
So they are.
Okay, Craig, you look a bit confused.
I think I've got one of them. The other one would be a guess.
Right. Well, I'll let you go first.
No, actually not. I think I have Porteous and Boyle.
Okay.
Aye, spot on.
The cabbage kit.
Porteous and Boyle.
Yeah, cabbage kit.
Porteous running away with the cabbage kit.
Aye, because it's from a long throw and then it sort of rolls in his back and he's just able to fucking put it in.
Smashes it.
Shaun, they're saying Porteous and Boyle, but the order was actually Boyle and Porteous. So I wonder if I could get an extra point for that.
Not. Now get your golden straw.
But yeah, I think that was the last time, or the only time that we've ever actually scored from a long throw-in.
And it
was I booked for Dingwall in January. Booked I try and go every season. That's like the European trip. Go to Inverness for 2 nights and go through to Dingwall for the game on the Saturday. Really? I was there when the game got called off. Switched straight back into Inverness.
I ended up watching an Arsenal game in the pub and then just got the train home. Yes, next one. Very, very curious to see if you'll be able to get this. And I think only those that were at the match will be able to get it. So apologies. However, Thursday, the 5th of December, 2019, we travelled to Dingwall. We went on to get beat 2-1 that night. But Doidge scored on the 34th minute. Meanwhile, at Tynecastle, a former High B scored to put his team in front at the exact same time.
Oh, yeah, I know this.
That High B.
Can I go first then?
Would you like me to repeat it at all?
Can you repeat it just in case?
Yeah, that's fine. I've got
Fucking hell, you know who it is, man.
So
you know who it is, do you?
Yes, I know who it is.
I know. I think I know who it is because I listened to the open goal and they spoke about this goal.
Yeah.
So
the Marvin Bartley.
Marvin Bartley, that's correct. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of the many trips I've had up to Dingwall, which is led in defeat. But I tell you what, that 15 minutes after he scored, when actually Christian Doidge scored, was one of the best 15 minutes I think I'll ever have in Dingwall.
Was that not his first goal in Scottish football?
Yep, it was.
Maybe his only goal. That's so funny.
And at one point we thought he'd scored a double as well. So the scenes in the away end at Dingwall celebrating that Marvin Bartley goal were great. Cool. Right. Well, I fully expect you to get this one. 31st of January 2023, we drew 1-1 up at Dingwall. Who did we announce as a sign-in that night?
No, we spoke about that somewhere before.
Tony, do you know who it was?
No. I'm crap at
quizzing.
Well, what
got it a little bit
what
more.
I'll do is I'll get Liam to announce the sign-in from someone from the same country as the player that we signed and see if that gives it away for you, Tony.
You got a little bit more hops to the playing squad. We're going to sign him from Middlesbrough. Wow. He walked in. I said, "We need a big striker." I said, "Wow, what a big striker!"
So yeah, Matthew Hoppe is who we signed.
Matthew Hoppe, yeah.
How do Jim White actually announcing the signing?
Can you believe it? Hibs have made the loan signing of former Schalke forward Matthew Hoppe on loan from Middlesbrough. He joins in a 6-month deal. I tell you what, that's a great move for the Hibs. It was deadline day as well, was it not?
It was.
Have you done a space
was.
for it?
Yeah.
Right, moving
It would have been good if he
to
wasn't the absolute
the
dog meat.
Dundee United, the Dundee United quiz, which is all based around fixtures at Easter Road as well. 3 questions again, very quickly. We'll fire through it.
Grant Brebner is one of the answers. I bet you.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see.
I bet you.
The last time we beat, you really threw me off with that, and he's actually not. But I now might make him the answer. Last time we beat them was in 2020, and that was in the Scottish Cup. Who scored a hat trick in that game?
I know, because the boys behind me were moaning about him the whole night.
So the last time we beat Dundee United at home was in the Scottish Cup in 2020. Someone scored a hat trick for Hibs that day. Who was it?
It was a replay, Craig.
I thought you want to win this.
I've got the answer, but I don't know
if
which
any clues.
Shanklin scored for United that night.
Oh, did we beat them like 5-2 or something in the end?
Tony, what's your guess?
Something like that.
There's only one player I think it could be.
Tony, you want to hazard a guess? Unless you know.
I was thinking Deutsch. What?
Craig?
It's Cristiano Deutsch.
Cristiano Deutsch.
Absolutely.
Scott Allen scored the other one. Okay, second question.
It was a great game. But it was a replay, Shaun, wasn't it?
Because it was... I'm fairly certain the photo I have of you in the away end at Tannadice is from the first match.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 1-1, and I think Deutsch scored that day as well.
Yeah, he did, and Shanklin scored that one as well.
And he wore number 9 that day, I think, everyone.
Right, I win.
So
Cheers.
That was the last time we beat them at Easter Road in any competitive fixture. The last time we beat them in the league was back in 2017.
That's fucking mental.
United, the last time we beat Dundee United at home in a league fixture was 2017. Can you name
Was that the
scorers from that game?
Yes, I can. I can. I absolutely
just think
can.
yourself back. 2017. Who would have scored, or who would have been more likely to score for Hibs?
I know he was an absolute fucking blinder of a game, especially first half. Might have got injured as well that game.
We were brilliant that night.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the country, so I'm a bit.
Oh, here's the excuses coming out.
I'll take my. Oh, I bet you can remember who scored in the cup final though. I'll take a punt at it.
Yep.
I know who
So I'll give you a clue, Tony. There was only 2 goal scorers in the game. Somebody got a double and someone scored 1.
I was thinking Matty Kennedy.
Okay, and what's your other guess?
Oh, you're a couple of years too late for that.
Jason Cummings.
Okay, Craig, what's your guesses?
Mine would be Cummins and John McGinn.
Cummings and McGinn.
Craig, just for clarity, who was the game that you were talking that could have got injured and maybe played a blinder? Yes,
Chris Humphrey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they know he injured putting a cross in or something like that.
Was it his debut that night?
Aye, played like that was it. Cheers, all the best.
He was absolutely fantastic. We were brilliant that night. When it was John McGinn came back for injury. Eh?
Yeah,
that's the night that everyone knew that we were going to go and win the league.
Yeah,
aye.
Because we humped them when we played them. We beat them in Tannadice as well. Cummings scored in that one as well. It's a great finish. You moved the
I think that was after this game though, wasn't it? Because they beat us at Tannadice the game before.
That night that you're talking about, Tony, that was Effie Ambrose's debut.
All right, okay. Good knowledge.
Cummins scored and then he also got sent off, did he not?
Aye, Superman.
Into the goal. Right, last one, and I'm going to remove Grant Bredner as an answer from this. I would like you guys, and to get the point, you must name a different player to the one I'm thinking of, okay? Name a player that has played for both Hibs and Dundee United. And my answer was going to be Grant Brednar, but I'll now remove that.
Was it actually?
Because I wanted to see if it would trip you up, because I thought you would have picked them. So to get the point, you need to name a different player to the one I'm thinking of that has played for both clubs.
Should we all name a different player than each other
That's
as well,
completely up to
so
you.
that we're not all going on one player, because we could all say, know what I mean?
So what, we all just have to name something different?
Just name it.
Yeah. I'll go last.
Tony,
I'll
you'll
go
get
last.
the point.
Right, I'll go first. Keith Watson.
Oh, what a fucking shout that is, by the way. Craig?
Russell Latapy.
Liam?
Henry Anya.
Well done, Jen.
Oh, that's a goodie.
Got a point. I was going to go Grant Brednar, so I changed it to Stephen Fletcher. I thought one of these might have went recent.
Oh, really? I was going to go for Dylan Levitt as well, but I was like, I bet you.
Danny Swanson was the other one that I was.
Swanson, Keaton,
Hang on.
Simon Murray, Scott Allen, John O'Neill, Mixer.
Scott
Shit,
Robertson.
Aye.
Fraser Fivey.
Yeah, I mean, we could just stand here and do names like that.
Craig Brewster.
To bring us to a close, we will just quickly touch on the two matches. So, Tony, see for the lineup in particular, whether it be the Ross County or the Dundee United match, do you think we could see players like Dylan Levitt, Iredale, Mariah Welsh, or Rudy maybe come into the fold and start? Do you think it's the type of fixture that would be suited for them?
Well, I really didn't see. I get the feeling that Gray doesn't fancy Levitt at all. I could see where both of them play three at the back, and obviously when we matched up Dundee United in the last game until Neil sort of fucked it, it was playing really well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that possibly in one of the games, and that would probably bring in Iredale. So I think there is a possibility of that. And we go with and maybe get two strikers on the pitch.
Craig, how do you see tomorrow night in particular unfolding?
I see tomorrow night as potentially the biggest game of David Gray's managerial career so far. And
is that just because it'll get us off the bottom of the table and it'll take us 3 points above Hearts, or is there anything else into that other than it's just as plain as simple as that?
No, just that. I think if you can't be too despondent with going up to Dingwall and getting a point, as that kind of sounds quite tin pot, really. But especially in the situation that we're in,
midweek and all,
getting beaten up there, I think this is an absolute must not lose from.
Cunts will be seek.
Yeah, if we need to be looking at this next week, minimum 4 points out of 6. Otherwise, I think Gray's in real trouble.
I say minimum 4, maximum. I think we should get.
I'm going to give you a couple of hypotheticals to bring us to an end. Then, so we don't get a victory tomorrow, but we get a performance. So regardless of whether we lose or get a point, there's a performance there. How do we go and get 3 points at the weekend when confidence will be at an all-time low? But then on the flip side, we get 3 points tomorrow. How would that then change that? How would that change the setup going into Sunday's match? Would it be the same lineup, or would you try and freshen it up again?
I think it depends on the starters and the finishers, Shaun. To be honest, if the performance comes after the subs have come on and it's the subs who've changed the game and they deserve to get a start on Sunday, then I think he'll probably change it to reflect that. But I think we'll just need to wait and see. I fully expect us to be able to go up there and put in a performance. I think Ross County, I don't think they're going to be in as much danger as they have been this season. But I still think it's a game that we should be looking to take full points from. It's although we are bottom of the table, we really need to be beating these teams. Yeah. And I genuinely think, and I've got nothing to base this off, that we are going to be 6 points richer come full time on Sunday.
Tony, do you feel the
I
same?
only hope we are.
Sorry, me. I just feel that with the Achilles heel of what we've got, conceding what 8 late goals. Although Ross County are the next team after us, they've conceded 7 goals in the last 15 minutes, so it could get chaotic in the last 15 minutes of this game.
Say we 5-5 or something.
Yeah, but it's just with the individual errors, having a poor goalkeeper, a performance is a lot of the time isn't worth a fuck. Is being the main issue here, and with guys like Jordan White and the way that the Ross County let him mind a long throw themselves. It's hard to see a clean sheet with a guy like that around with our issues and that. So we need to start fast, and we need to try and. I think for us to get out of the funk, because we might going to have to actually hump a team to get out of it. I'll have like 2 or 3-0 to get us sort of like to get out of this funk, and I'm not sure that's going to happen this week.
Well, we've definitely got the firepower to do it. So we'll wrap it up there, gents. So for those listening, hopefully you enjoyed. Probably not the talking about the matches, more so the quizzes and the content. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you very much. Yes, Craig, yes, Liam, I do value your time, but I value Tony's even more. So thank you very much for your presence, everyone. And I hope you have a lovely, lovely evening. I know I'll have a lovely weekend because I'll be at the Metropolitano in Madrid. So I'll definitely will not be at Easter Road taking in that nonsense instead. But
are you watching a game, Shaun, or are you just going in?
Yes, I'm going to the Bernabeu on Friday for a tour. Hopefully laugh at Vinny Jr. if he's there. And then going to the Metropolitano on the Sunday to watch Ollie McBurney and Scott McKenna masterclass.
That's incredible. I bet you'd see like 5 years ago if someone had to tell you you'll go to a La Liga game at Atletico Madrid and Scott McKenna and Ollie McBurney will be playing.
Mental.
You would have been well confused.
Well, I might be really confused if I come home on Tuesday and Hibs have got 6 points for the next 2 matches. That's for sure. But
what do you think would be like more likely? Scott McKenna and they're like
McBurney.
What's his name? McBurney to score at Atletico Madrid, or Hibs to come away from these 2 games with 6 points?
I think it'll probably be similar odds, to be fair. Like, but yes.
McBurney got an assist at the weekend.
Again,
Surely you celebrate if McBurney or McKenna scores.
No.
In the Atletico end.
You just be going, fuck that, come on now, boys. Come on, Scala.
Right, have a good evening, gents. Thanks for joining you.
Cheers, man.
Much love. See you later.
Bye.
Let's get ready to rumble.